Hello, friends. I have heard from many of my friends that money can solve 90% of the problems in life. But I think other way around. Money brings 90% of the problems in your life. Otherwise, your life was fine going smooth, isn't it? I believe money is something which should be in a balanced proportion in your life. If it is too less, then also it's much of stress. But if grows much, then also it brings stress with it. Tell me what you think. And now move to the question of the day. What is the right time to buy the property? The answer to the question looks very simple. But in fact, 90% of the people fail to gauge the right time to buy the property. So today we will discuss why. Today we are going to focus how the little extra money in your pocket you can use to buy the property, but you don't know when. If you ask this question from different people, you will get different answers. Some would tell you a very complex term, which is the demand and supply. Others will tell you to wait for a downtrend. Some may even claim this property bubble is going to burst. Some might say wait for interest rates to come down or go high. Interestingly, some people might also suggest you to buy the property in off periods like holiday periods in December. And very intelligent people can tell you that you should buy properties which are in a foreclosure with the banks. So you directly buy from the banks and not from the people or from the real estate agents. I'm sure you have heard all of those. Now we will postmortem each of the options in detail today and we'll figure out what is the right time and which option for you is the right. Okay, let's first discuss demand and supply. To understand demand and supply property, you incredibly need to be smart. But I think you are a normal person like me and many of us around here, right? Understanding demand and supply is not easy. Even the biggest companies cannot understand this thing really quite well. Take the example of Tesla. Tesla created Cybertrucks, thinking that Cybertruck will overnight change the world, but their demand prediction was wrong. So supply and demand majorly depends on the past results. In investments, there is a common saying, past results are not a true indicator of future success. So demand and supply is a very complex topic. So supply and demand is not for normal people like us, right? We cannot gauge the supply and demand accurately. Coming to the second option, when economy is onto a downtrend. This directly means that we are heading towards a recession. And I don't know if a normal family man would like to buy property in a recession. People are scared of losing their job. They don't know whether they would have a job next day or not. They would want to have all their savings right in their pocket and not in the investment property. So that option is also not for a common man. The third option is property bubble. Do you know who creates these property bubbles? They are all rich and wealthy people backed by the government. If a common man can predict a property bubble, then the property bubble wouldn't have existed in the first place. That means we are no one to find out when is the property bubble. So this is also not an option for common man. Moving to the next. Next is interest rates. I believe the interest rates really impact the market, but not to a much extent. They only extend up to 2 to 3%, not more than that. So take an example of Australia 3 years back. The interest rates were just 1.99%, 3 times less than as compared to now. So does this mean that Australians buying property at that time would have bought 3-4 properties instead of once, and now every Australian would be on the road living as a tenant? No, that didn't happen. Even at that time also, there was a rise in the property just 2 to 3%. If someone is telling you that interest rates increasing or decreasing will impact the properties in like 20 or 30%, they're fooling you, right? So interest rates are also not a very true indicator of the time when you should buy the property. Let's move to the next one. Buy the properties in a holiday period. I would say this is the most stupid option because everyone, even the real estate agent, the buyers and the sellers, everyone is enjoying that time. So you also enjoy that time with the family instead of thinking about the property, because as I told you in the beginning, money brings 99% of the problems in the family. Yeah. So enjoy the money, not let it bring the problems in the family, right? The final option is buy the properties in foreclosure from the banks, directly from the banks, because people think they are available on a discounted rate of 20 to 30%. If they approach the bank directly, some people with the bank has defaulted, so bank has seized their property, and now bank can sell that property to some other people just to recover the money, right? You can see million of the people telling you this trick, but that's just a trick, that's just a myth, it doesn't happen. Tell me, the bank who is giving loan to everyone to buy their property, and if someone is unable to pay, the bank will take the loss by selling it on a 20 to 30% discount? No. It will rather put it into the open market, so that because of the competition, they can rather get more money out of that. There was a time when it used to happen, and that was exactly the time of recession, when people were not paying money for the houses because they didn't have any money, and banks were also not finding anyone to buy their property. That's why those properties were on discount. But now the time has changed, and don't wait for that time. I still say that there are big wealthy people, and the people with links like kingmakers would still have an opportunity to buy directly from the bank, saving that 30%, 40% of the discount on the properties. But that is not an option for us as a common man. So if there is no option from all of these, then what is the option? I would tell you that many big investors would come up with charts, lot of flow charts, lots of trends, lot of market data, strategy, demand and supply, and so much of other data. But even the smartest investors sometimes makes a mistakes of missing the basic detail. The basic detail is, the thumb rule is that there is no wrong time to buy the property. Listen to it again. There is no wrong time. I'm not saying right time. I'm saying wrong. So there is no wrong time to buy the property. You can buy property anytime, considering one small pitfall. You should never buy a property for short term. Your vision should be at least 5 to 10 years long. Let your money work for you. But I have an exception here. If you are watching my video from third world countries or the developing nations, and within short term as well, your property might give you benefits of more than 100%. I have seen properties like that. But in developed countries, the property markets really go in a controlled way. Sometimes they can just trap a lot of small investors. But if you are a long-term investor, you are safe in developed countries in real estate for long term, right? And listen to this again. There is no wrong time to buy the property. Tell me if I said something wrong. Tell me in the comments below. Thank you.